it shows me, preparing meetings, the circle going around.
The Mash is having some technical difficulties, but he's restarting his phone and he should be able to connect hopefully in the next few minutes. So we're just going to wait.
Are we on for today?
We are on. The Mash is just trying to get his phone to connect. He's restarting it, so hopefully in the next few minutes it'll work.
Howie, how's Antifa fighting up Chicago going?
What was that, Alex? Sorry.
How's Chicago neighborhoods doing? How you managing?
Yeah, not too bad. Lakeshore Drive is closed down, so I can't get downtown. But other than that, it's all right. Not too bad by me. There were some peaceful marches the other day, but no looting or anything like that.
No, Baruch Hashem.
Yeah, that's good. They put my condo on lockdown every night.
That's because you're a very suspicious looking dude.
I know. They don't know they let me in.
Unbelievable. Even coming to Lakewood, I don't know why. There's like 10 black people living in Lakewood. I think they're going to import all of them.
Right. That's the thing. You never know who's coming in to cause the problems.
All of a sudden, someone told me that you live in town, there's no black people. All of a sudden, you have 5,000 blacks being bussed in from somewhere.
Right. They figure if there can be some free stuff,
Nah, the cops are here. Not going to let anything happen. Everyone's armed. My whole block is everyone's got at least 3-4 AR-15s. So no one's really doing anything here. Ocean County is the most conservative county in New Jersey.
I was listening to your governor's press conference, a real meathead.
Oh, yeah, total. Yep.
About on par with ours. Just ours is a yiddle with a glacier cup.
Yeah, a lot of yiddles. The guy like the mayor of Minnesota, that 30-year-old.
Yeah, right. Well, the liberal in him and these guys take over. And that goes opposite of the Yiddish.
That's true. Jews in politics is death for all of us.
Right. Yeah.
No matter what side you're on, they're going to blame it all on Jews, no matter what color you are.
Uh-huh. But the thing is, everything has to be the race, no matter what they talk about. It's got to be race.
Well, that's identity politics for liberals to have control of power.
Exactly.
Rule means money. Money means position. And that's it. It's fun.
And then that gets brought up, and then that can end the conversation real quick.
It's a complicated subject.
Right.
Even Israel's got these cuckoo liberals who want to give away Palestinians. There's tons of liberal Jews in Israel are the same crazy, totally. Even if you blow up a bus full of women, they're going to still love Palestinians.
Yeah, I call them the self-haters.
They're beyond self-hate. It's a more complex problem. Maybe we should buy Mash a good internet connection.
Yeah, we've been talking about that for a couple of weeks now. I didn't hear anything further if there was going to be a campaign or what's going on with that.
I think how we have to step up and just send in your $50,000 pledge. You promised.
Is it? Yeah, right.
It was 50 or it was 50 million? Which one was it?
I think it was 50 cents.
50 cents. That's a good singer. 50 cents, not 50 cents. Also Neve guy.
Right.
Or at least Neve guy agent. The agent is...
How's everything with you?
It's good. Letting all the guys listen to our conversation. We should do
I was just looking to see.
Who's
I'm
here?
outside, so I can't really see the screen too well. Today's a pretty nice day out, so I figured I'd get out. They didn't open my deck, so I'm outside by the park across in the back.
Mhm. Here. I'm gonna go silent for a few minutes. I'll speak to you later.
Yeah,
all right?
yeah. Okay, sounds good. Good chatting.
Okay, I'm starting. Joe? Yishkai to you. Okay, fellows. I'm sorry for that. Shalom Aleichem. I Pashat had to update my Zoom. I don't know what I had to do, but Joe led me through it, and I think it was successful. Okay, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, we can hear you, Rebbe.
Okay, great. So today we are talking about love, about the component of love in marriage and in friendship, and just the person's ability to give love. I want to read you something to begin. It's an amazing thing because of the person who wrote it. It was written by the Kehelis Yaakov, the Stipler. And, sometimes you can find somebody who will exaggerate, or maybe just in order to convince the people of the crucial importance of what he's discussing. So he exaggerates a little bit. Not the Stipler. The Stipler was a gadol ma'od. Maybe some of you fellows remember we went to visit the Stipler several times. The Stipler would never exaggerate. He would tell it as it is. Yeah, you agree? So this way, right? So I'm gonna translate it. I'm reading from Bagan Hasholom by Sholom Aresh, and I'm translating it. The words of the Kehelis Yaakov Zichron Tzadik B'Kodesh Lebracha. Mishalta Ikari Shel Isha. The main desire, the main passion, the main purpose of what a woman needs, the olama in her world, is that a husband should love her. That's what she needs. That's what her goal is. And when she sees that this is not the case, it's close. Kamat shekarova lepikuach nefesh. It's close to pikuach nefesh. Do you hear that? It's close to pikuach nefesh. If she feels that her husband doesn't love her. May rov tsar v'yogon on the pain and the anxiety that she feels to be gamuda kamana b'chayeha, like an almana, like a mana when her husband's still alive. Olama shel isha hi abal. The world of a woman is her husband. She'ohevasa, that loves her. That is her tikva, that's her hope. It's yasa, and that's what she's looking for. That's what she's looking. V'im ein abal nosein la ishur al kach, and if her husband does not give her, the feeling that an ishur, he doesn't give a reason to believe that it's true. Chayshech ba'ad the olama, then her world becomes dark. The world becomes dark. Ad kan lashona. Those are the words of the Stipler. The world becomes dark, close to pikuach nefashos. And he writes, the author writes, our gedolim don't exaggerate. When he writes, it's krova to pikuach nafsha, that's mamish what it is. And he says, we know that there are many cases or people who are working with shalom bias, and the wife is totally broken, and she's in depression, and because of that can come out illnesses. Hashem Yishmor v'yatzilena. Right? People who work with broken, with families that have discord and not harmony, families that have quarrels between husband and wife, and they know that if she feels that she's not loved, then the times when Pashut she became sick over it. That is the importance of her feeling that you love her, and it's not always easy. I want to tell you a story. It's about love, but not love between man and his wife. So this everybody can connect to whether you're in that situation or not. It's to me it's an amazing story because what I read into it, right? It's a story about the Shavina Rav, and I think I found it in there's a book called The Spark of a Story, which has many different stories. It has a story about the Treblinka Rav, right? So it's known that the Treblinka Rav had very rare, had many sforim. Some of them were rare manuscripts and so forth. He didn't collect sforim; he just used them. But since he loved to learn and he was a genius and he was a gaon, so he used many sforim, and he had many sforim, and he was very willing to lend out even his rare sforim and his precious sforim. He would lend it out to people who wanted them. But of all his treasures, there was one bookcase that he wouldn't open up. It was locked. He wouldn't lend it to anybody. One bookcase that was locked. And there was two brothers that very close to the Treblinka Rav. I'm talking about Shlomo Zalman Auerbach. You've heard of him, right? And his brother, Raphael David Auerbach, right? So they were very close with the Treblinka Rav. They would often join him for Malav Malka. So they're telling the story. Shlomo Zalman Auerbach is telling over the story, right? And he once got the guts up and asked him, "Could we see what's in your locked bookcase?" And the Rav changed the subject. He didn't want to discuss it, right? They figured this probably his manuscripts and things that he doesn't want to publish, but they didn't know. And they were very, very curious, but they didn't bring it up again because they saw that the Rav did not want to discuss it. He changed the subject. All right. Years later, the Rav passed away. And after he passed away, he gave his entire library to his yeshiva, Treblinka Yeshiva. And among the boxes was one box that came from the locked treasure bookcase. So of course they were there. The Auerbachs were there when they were opening it up, and as they suspected, there were very special, precious for him manuscripts, things which he wrote, and it was a very big honor if he didn't want to publish it. But then there was something else. There's something that was written very small on sacks, not on paper, on sacks that were used for carrying cement. Sacks that were used for carrying cement. There was something written very small. So they looked at it and they saw it was an entire Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur tfilos, written in very, very small print, including the piyutim. In other words, he had written, he was a genius, he knew it by heart. He had written the whole Tefillah, Rosh Hashanah, and Yom Kippur. So they started to ask, around to try to find someone who was old enough, would remember, would know the story. And sure enough, they found out that when the Rav was in Siberia, he was in a slave labor camp in Siberia. And it was very difficult for him because he was very sensitive to cold. And sometimes it was 40 degrees below zero, minus 40 degrees. You can imagine, how difficult it was for him, right? He had a sister. His sister was also in a slave labor camp, not far away, right? His sister did not know by heart the tefillahs for Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. She got a message to him, what am I going to do? It's soon to be Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. I can't daven. I don't know the tefillah by al peh. I can't daven. So you know what the Rav did? He sat, and it doesn't say whoever told the story over when he sat, right? But we can ask ourselves, we know that that in slave labor camps in Siberia, they didn't give you much time to rest and relax and take it easy, right? He probably robbed himself of time for his precious rest and shut-eye, right, in order to write this manuscript, the whole tefillah, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, on the cement bags. Unbelievable. He probably kept it because it took him so much effort to do it. But that's godless. And that's love. That's love for your fellow person, for your sister. That's tremendous that he could feel her pain that she's not able to daven Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. What a story. Yeah. So first of all, the first component of love is giving, right? For a person, there are two kinds of people in the world. People who take and people who give. We say this very often. And a Yid has to be a person who gives. A Jew has to be a person who gives. Every aspect of Jewishness and Ben Odom Lachavero, every aspect of it is the willing to give to others, right? If we're not givers, we have to learn to be givers. And it's not easy. It's not easy when you get married, right? So it's a total transition. Until now, it was I, right? I. Now, it's no longer I. You're no longer alone. You're sharing your life with someone you love. You're sharing your life with your wife. So it's we. It's no longer I. And it's not, it's not easy. Some of my Talmidim, my present Talmidim, they say, Rebbe, I'm ready to get married, right? I'm ready to get married. So I ask him a few questions. He tells me, well, the only thing is that I can't imagine staying with the same girl a month, maybe, but 2 months with the same girl. So I told him, I don't think you're ready to get married. I could have told him you haven't found the right girl either, but besides that, he's not ready to get married. He needs a change of scenery. He's not ready for marriage. But the litmus test of marriage is if you're ready to share. You're ready to share with the person that you're sharing your life with. And that's what love is all about. I'm not talking about infatuation. Infatuation could be between any couple, right? but it doesn't last long. It doesn't last long. Maybe it's great when it does last. She has no faults. You're totally in love. You're on a different planet. But it's not 100% real. It's more fantasy than reality, and it doesn't last. So the real love is based upon giving. You have to give of yourself to the other person. That's the real love. And you give to the point that you become one. You become one.
Question.
Yes, please.
Sometimes women are not able to reciprocate by accepting. Um, it's sometimes they have difficulty. They're maybe givers and you're a giver, but they don't know how to sometimes take in order for you to sort of be satisfied that you've given all you could give.
Okay, 1 second. Who? Can I ask who's speaking? Because I for some reason on my phone I can't see who is speaking. Who asked me this question?
Alex Cooley.
Oh, okay, Alex, good. But I don't have your picture there. Okay.
I'm here. Maybe not. You see my picture. That's why she doesn't want to give. But whatever.
I'm sure not. All right.
20 years ago.
That's a very, very serious problem, and it's something which it cannot be discussed in the general text. It has to be discussed individually. It could be something in her background. It could be something as a child. It could be that she was abused. If she's not able to reciprocate and give back love, then that has to be taken care of, by a Rav or by a counselor, a therapist. But you can't have a marriage if she's not ready to give back love. But again, like it's really a very individual type of thing. One second. Why did I just lose me?
Any recommendations for an anniversary?
For an anniversary?
Yeah.
First one. Don't forget it. Don't forget the date. Okay. Look, today we're a little bit limited what you can do. I don't know if you can take her out. I don't know if but certainly spend the day with her and try to do the things that she enjoys doing, and take out the pictures and go over the chasna and so forth. Take out some time for it, even if you're very busy. But anniversary, you can't. That's very important. That's very important. There's a terrible joke. Did I tell you the joke about the anniversary? No, I should. Okay, my wife says I can't tell you the joke. I'm very tempted.
That's the sign of a good joke.
Yeah. 1 second. It was about this. They were interviewing people about their lives, but their loves, and shalom bayis. People were interviewing, right? So this one person said that on his anniversary he took his wife to Eretz Yisrael. 25th anniversary, he took his wife to Eretz Yisrael, and they said, "Wow, that's special. That's beautiful." They're talking about it. He brought her to Eretz Yisrael. Wow. And Puerta says, "What are you?" He said, "And I'm close to my 50th." He says, "Okay, what are you going to do on your 50th?" He says, "Are you going to take your wife to Eretz Israel again?" He says, "Well, not exactly, but almost." He says, "So what are you going to do?" He says, "I'm going to pick her up from Eretz Israel." Okay.
No,
You agree with my wife?
yeah.
I thought it was good.
That was
Um,
awesome, Rebbe.
Okay. Anyhow.
These are the jokes when women do not listen.
This is Prac Eps.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to tell you that there's the Vilna Gaon says that we love because we recognize the noble qualities in somebody. That's a quote from the Vilna Gaon. The problem is that only too often we're too busy. We're too busy to not too busy. We fantasize about ourselves. We think that we're so intelligent and handsome and etc. And could be that we even have jealousy towards others. And so we don't necessarily see the qualities other people possess. If we see the qualities other people possess, so then we will start to feel a strong sense of love for them. Right? But we don't always see it. And the Gemara in Sanhedrin, on Kufay on the base says a person is jealous of everyone besides his son and his Talmud. We're jealous of everybody besides our sons and our Talmud. And Baron Feldman says that it's not just our sons and our Talmud. We're jealous of everyone besides the people that we strongly identify with. Like a mother towards a child, right? So he tells over a very interesting story there about that the mother is totally subjective when she's considering her child, right? And that's because of her love and identity with her child. He told a story there, that someone once came to him, mother came to him and said she needs help. She needs him to help her raise some money for her child. The child needs an amount of money now. And she mentioned that the child has special qualities. An outstanding boy. He honors his mother and both his parents. He goes out his way to do favors for people. He's a model boy. I'm talking about a son is a model boy. But he wanted that Feldman should help raise money for him. So why do you need the money if he's a model boy? He needs a lawyer to defend him for something which was not his fault. A lawyer to defend him for something which is not his fault, right? And if he doesn't get a good lawyer, he's probably going to spend a long time in jail, a stint in jail. So already it sounds like it's not so pushing. He's a model boy, good to his parents, okay, but it sounds like he might have done something very wrong. So what happened? So he wants to tell me what happened. So she said, well, he was selling watermelons at a busy intersection, right? And then somebody else had the nerve to start selling watermelons at the same intersection, right? So he went over to this guy and they got into an argument. It could be, got into an argument, right? And the person maybe gave him a little bit of a push, right? So, okay, now he has to respond to that. So understandably, right? He got upset, and he took his watermelon knife and he stabbed him. Okay, it's not so push anymore. He stabbed him. It actually only scratched him, but for some unknown reason, the wounded man died. You see that from the mother? He only scratched him, but there's some, I don't know, can't understand it, but the person that he stabbed or scratched, right, died for unknown reason, right? And therefore, he says she should listen. I have to admit to you, my son does have one fault. He has one fault, right? He becomes too upset over injustice. Too upset over injustice, right? So there was a tremendous injustice that somebody else opened a watermelon stand threatening him. So he took his knife and he stabbed him to death. He's too upset over injustice. All right. That only a mother can find merit for such a murder, you know. But when we identify with somebody, and we very often we don't see things clearly. We don't see things clearly, and in a way, it helps parents overlook certain shortcomings. And if we really love our spouse, we also will overlook shortcomings, right? Which that's a good, that's something good, right? Um, but usually it's better if people know the truth and don't try to to distort the truth. Usually that's a lot better. Usually it's a lot better. Um, I just want to give you, because it's getting late, and there's so much to discuss about
how good people are. Isn't it amazing?
yeah. I want to tell you something. Let's say that the person, which could happen, that his wife doesn't really feel, his wife feels insecure. She doesn't really feel that he loves her. What can he do about that? Right? He doesn't feel that he loves her. So there was somebody who did this. He tried this. I don't know if it's his own idea, so I gave it to him. But he started leaving notes where she would find them. He left his notes in the mailbox, right? Where she opens the closet right away, she'd see a note over there, in the cupboards, right? And the notes read something like this: "Cheer up, you have a husband who always thinks of you. Cheer up, you have a husband who always thinks of you." Or "Smile, your loving husband will be back soon," right? Now this is a very thoughtful thing, and it worked. It worked. It takes away her feelings of distrust. So I like this story because I also leave notes, usually on the kitchen table. Nothing exciting as that, right? But this is Eretz Israel, so I have to tell my wife when I put on the hot water. It's cold outside, and it's cloudy. It's not too much sun, so I put the hot water on at 6:45 this morning, right? But then I signed at 88. Or, I told something else, 88. Do you know what 88 means? You have to be a amateur radio operator to know. Like my twin brother and I are amateur radio operators. And that's Morse code, right? But in Morse code, there's a lot of numbers that stand for expressions. There's a lot of abbreviated expressions, right? So did you know, by the way, that my twin brother and I at one point were the youngest twin radio operators in the world. At one point, we were the youngest twin radio operators in the world, because I think we were 9 years old when we got our amateur radio license. So, okay, but 88 means love and kisses, right? 73 means best regards. 88 means love and kisses, and say, if you leave a note around like that, you sign it, etc., or make a joke or something, your wife knows that you're thinking of her even as you are running to get out because you're late for this year to get up to the yeshiva. But it's Kedai. And any thoughtfulness on part of the thank you, David Fader. So I'm gonna pause here because I promised my wife that we would eat at 9 o'clock today, almost, and and we're busy. You know, we are making we're not making it, rather. My daughter, Shoshana, and her husband, Mendy Goldman, Rabbi Goldman, and Shoshana are making a chasna, right? And the chasna, Be'ez Hashem, is going to be Monday evening, this coming Monday evening. Now, today, I believe, is Tuesday, right? So today, they just found out that they can't have what they thought 100 guests. It's going to be in Neve Zion. It's going to be out in the plaza of Neve Zion, right? They can't have the 100 guests that they were looking forward to. They can have only 50 from each side, I think. I don't know. Yeah, 50 from each side. We can have 50, and the chassan side can have 50. So they're starting to invite people, right? Right now, it could be that Motzoi Shabbos they'll find out that they could have more people than that, and then they're going to have to invite more people Motzei Shabbos for Monday night. It's a crazy situation, but that's what Corona has done. I heard it's worse in England. In England, you're not allowed to make a marriage. You'll get into big trouble if you make a marriage. And I was told that people got married with 2 Adam in the kitchen. In the kitchen. So, wow. So,
And then they have extra money to buy a house. Baruch Hashem. Corona benefits.
Yeah, Corona benefits, yeah. Okay,
You're
fellas, so
gonna
thank you.
You're going to have thousands of
What?
guys on Zoom. Invite all Talmidim on Zoom. You'll have 1,000 guests via Zoom.
Okay, I'll ask my son and let's see if he wants to do that. Yeah, I think he wants to do that. I know he would definitely wants to invite his Talmidim. So maybe we will try to Zoom it. But I'm not going to be the one doing it. If I have to find someone to Zoom it. That's one chasna I want to, to be a Zaidi. Okay, so Meitz Hashem next week on Tuesday, and we'll probably continue the subject, maybe expand a little bit. I'm open to suggestions. Anyhow, thank you so much for joining me, and have a great week. And we should have the service to us. Everybody should be healthy. Clients should be healthy, and people that were sick. I don't know if you fellows may know him, but there was a nest this week, mamish, a nest. Reb Yitzchok Dweck, Shlita, Reb Dweck, he was the Rav of Deal, New Jersey, right? He was 2 months and 2 days in a hospital. He was unconscious a good part of the time. Very bad case of corona. The doctors gave up on him, and he went home just before Yontif. He went home just before Yontif. And they say it was mamish, and he needs a refuah shleima for his kidneys went, but he's alive, and we just saw pictures also about somebody who was working with Mogen David at Dome, had a bad case of corona, and just went home now. Baruch Hashem. Everybody says also tefillas. So we have to daven very, very hard for all the people that are sick. They should have a refuah shleima, and we should have a service to us in Klal Yisrael. See you next week. Go to Shalom.
Thanks, Rebbe.
Thanks
Thank
much.
you, Rebbe.
Mazel tov.
Thank you, Rebbe.
Baruch Yishkayla.
Mazel tov.